Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 yo. What the fuck is up there, everybody out there on YouTube's always? Just go by Papa Tikyo, coming to you live from the nice, warm Tokyo lands. Hello, the land of the purple people. Oh, man, I love finding B-roll for this stuff and then, like, matching it to the theme. Now, like, I don't know, it's just like, what is a theme B-roll that I can put for, like, stupid liberal people being dum-dums? And it's like, well, I don't know about that, but at first, at least I can find people. Because, like, people, we've got to deal with people every day, no matter what, right? From all walks of life. So, might as well start with, just people in general. So, I got this cool, like, webcam footage of, like, I love it. There's all these webcams all around Tokyo, and you can just go there and snag it, and it's fucking badass and cool. And anyway, yeah, guys, welcome back to another Papa Tikyo Rants, where yours truly, your hot-based American dad living in Tokyo, gives you guys a little nice rant ramble about his life and something pertaining to Japan. Now, usually, I like to talk about Japan, and most of the time I talk about Japan, and even today, I will talk about Japan, but I feel like this should be mentioned. What is it? I mean, because the thing is, again, like, when you move to another country, whether you like it or not, you are kind of you're spun into the mix of other foreigners. Now, I can only give my perspective as an English speaker from a Western country, so it's like mine. I mean, like a very unique experience. Obviously, you can't find this anywhere else on the internet. Ha ha ha. Hardy har har har. But I don't know. This is just something like half of these rants are me just venting about frustrating stuff or whatever, and so or at least something that like I wanted to talk about, and then maybe hopefully by talking about it, I can like kind of get like a better perspective or understanding of what I was frustrated with, kind of thing, right? And so yeah, today I just wanted to, it's like I don't like using Facebook anymore. There was a point where I really enjoyed using Facebook, but Facebook is just I didn't realize how many friends I have on Facebook are all crazy liberal people. I mean, like, it's funny. All the Asian people I know on Facebook, they're not talking about, like, all the people in Asia, like the, like, Korean, Taiwanese, Japanese. I don't see any of them complaining about politics, but all the foreigners, I mean, because, like, my Facebook's mostly just made up of foreigners and stuff, of, like, people I've met in Japan, right? And it's just, God, every time I go on there, there's just nothing but advertisements, and then just people complaining about politics. And it's so frustrating because I just wanted to go on there to like message somebody, right? But I guess you could download the Messenger app or something on the computer, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go to the website and do it directly. But I guess I could do it on my phone, but I was like, nah, I want to, my phone's charging. I want to do this instead. But anyway, it's so stupid, right? And I'm just going on there and I'm seeing just all these people are just fucking just I don't know. It's ironic because like I don't feel like I'm rebelling against anything, like it's always like never go with the government or the mainstream media, blah 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 blah, but it's not that simple. And I'm tired of people bringing up this whole like, well, you're just not smart. You're not an intellectual. Only us smart people, we understand what's really going on. And I'm like, okay. Okay. Well, anyway, I just want to spiel about that today. But we're hitting the 4 minute point here, so let me just do the self promo really quick. Yeah, guys, I don't get paid by YouTube at all, or if I do, it pays for like a drink. Like that's about it. It's not super comprehensive here, but it's okay though because this is my hobby and I like to do it for fun. But if you guys like my stuff and you want to support the channel and want to see more of my stuff regarding all this shit, like my content or whatever, it really helps me out if you go over to patreon.com/TKOSam and become a patron of mine over there. Even if it's $1, guys, it just, the numbers help when displaying the page. And also, I've got a lot of good content over there, and if you've ever thought about seriously like sitting down and learning Japanese and becoming fluent, I've got a whole video program over there that's like 50 plus. Well, it's all you need is the initial 30, but there's over like 50 plus lessons on there. There's a lot of blogs, behind the scenes footage, and yeah, I mean, it's cool. Go over there. You'll get a bonus stuff, and you're helping out the channel, and you get access to a secret part of the Discord, and you get your name at the end of these videos. Isn't that badass? So it's a win-win. And if you don't like Patreon, you have the option of becoming a member here by pushing that join button that's right next to the subscribe button, and it helps the channel. Actually, you don't need to do it on ADVJapan. Do it on the main TKO Sam channel. But if you want to super chat, feel free, or super thanks, feel free to do that on either channel because it all goes to the same place, so it's cool. So thank you for that. And speaking of which, big shout out to this week's super chat guy of the day, Boom. Yes, big thank you and shout out to that person specifically there. Guys, it always helps out the channel when you guys contribute that way. And yeah, it's going towards a good cause. It's going towards more content for you guys. And so always muchos aprisionados on that shit, guys. For real, not for play. And yeah, if you guys don't want to donate anything, that's fine. You can still help out the channel by leaving a comment in the comment section. And the comment, or I guess the question of the day is, I mean, you don't need to label yourself politically here if you don't want to, but are you annoyed by politics? Are you annoyed by people talking about politics? Your friends talking about politics? I'm going to bring up an issue that one of my friends had here with politics at the workplace too. And, you know, personal stuff and friend stuff as well regarding politics. So, yeah, let me know, like, are you kind of do you personally go out of your way to talk about politics? And do you, like, you know, like, do you have people at work or in your social group that are talking about politics? Like, yeah, just let me know. I'm curious, because I can't be the only one that's frustrated here, you know? Oh, for real, not for play. But yeah, so that's the question of the day. And yeah, don't forget to smash the like button. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed and you have that subscribe bell hit so you get there too. And yeah, actually, on a separate note, do you guys watch the shorts at all? Like, I made sure to pump out, God, I think it's till November or something. I have like a short scheduled to be uploaded and released every day on the Rants channel. And then on the main channel, every other day, there's a video, or there's a short scheduled to be released. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, let me know if you guys actually watch those or not. And yeah, I mean, like, I'm going to try, like, I didn't write down any notes here today. I'm spitballing it and just kind of going all over the place. But yeah, this will be mostly focused on not specific politics. I mean, we might get some specific, but I just also want to spiel about random shit, you know? And on a separate note, before we even get into politics, guys, you gotta, you know, everyone, what is that old saying? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Oh my God, guys, just wow. I had like 4 bananas and like 1 apple this morning for breakfast, just because I've been trying to eat more fruit in the morning, just because it's good for you. Yeah, it's funny. Do any of you guys like fruit? I was out with one of the coworkers that I have. He was a young college kid, like 20 years old or something. He was telling me, he's like, I hate fruit, I hate vegetables. And I'm like, so what do you eat? He's like, McDonald's. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, be careful with McDonald's. This body that I got here, this is because of McDonald's. And he's like, yeah, I got good metabolism. I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. But I was surprised that he's like, I don't even like fruit. And I was like, do you mean you don't like it because it's expensive in Japan, or you just don't like it in general? And he's like, yeah, I just don't like it. You know, I don't like the taste of it. I don't like, you know, I don't like I was like, what about the texture? You gotta at least like the texture. And he's like, oh, I mean, the texture's fine, but if it doesn't taste good. And I was just like, dude, like, because he's always eating like potato chips, and they're the Japanese ones that are like the pizza flavor, or like the seaweed flavored ones. Like those ones suck. They have way better potato chips here, but he likes those ones. And like, yeah, drink it, or like eating cup noodles and shit. And it's funny because, like, I remember when I used to eat fast food all the time, that, like, I had the same experience where I didn't like how Like vegetables didn't taste like anything to me. Like they didn't taste good. They didn't like blast off shit in my mind for like the dopamine receptors or whatever. But you know, after being like detoxed from all this stuff for so long, like it really does taste great. But also, I mean, like you got to find the way that you like it. Like for example, I don't like room temperature fruits. Like I want all my fruits, they're always in the fridge. I like them to be cold because I just like my desserts that way and I like my sugars that way. So it's like but it's always a treat. Like last week I bought myself some strawberries and it just felt so good. So good. But yeah, I like, you know, fruits are they can be expensive in Japan. So I mean, they have like a set quality of more expensive fruits that are always expensive, but sometimes even the cheap fruits become expensive. But you know, that's one of those things where it's just like I over budget during the month just in case that happens, just because like I don't want to go a single day without, or like I never want to go into my fridge and be like, oh, I don't have any fruits today. Like I always have a nice backlog of apples, bananas, and oranges, and then if I find it on sale, I usually get some strawberries or grapes. Yeah, I guess for all of you guys in the premiere chat or like that are watching this, I'm curious, how often do you guys eat fruit? And what fruit do you like? I was talking to one of my students, and he said he loves kiwis. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess Japan, you can find kiwi pretty well. And he's like, what about you, Sam Sensei? And I'm like, nah, I don't really. Nah, like, I don't know. There's just some. I don't like the taste of kiwis. And I guess the texture, too. I don't really like the texture. It's kind of like grapefruity a little bit. I don't know. It's eh. I prefer, like, God, I mean, I don't even like grapefruit, though. So it's, like, definitely, like, if I can choose, like, oranges are better for sure. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying that like in the morning having nothing but coffee and like fruits that really before I started recording this rant, I really let loose. And God, dude, I feel like I've cleaned out whatever was in my system earlier. I had like a stomach ache earlier for some reason, and then it's just like, no, just gotta crap a shit ton. You'll feel better. But anyway, yeah, that was like a fun little thing, and just I don't know, it's been nice, you know, like it's been interesting. Like this whole week, I've been working on making my compilation vlogs of just the combination of those random days I went out to film with extra clips of random shit. And it's been fun. I like, you know, I have like a template for it now, so like I'm going through it, and it's kind of like a TV show. It's like educational, funny, and you know, what is it like? Eric Sir 6 used to tell me it's the 3 E's: the entertaining, engaging, and educational. You know, if you can do that, then you're like that's a pretty good YouTube video. But I don't know if they're engaging, but they're definitely educational and entertaining for sure. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. It feels good to like make progress on a project that you've wanted to do for a while. Because like one thing I realized with like talking with ChatGPT yesterday, because I was just doing role playing and speaking Japanese to it, and I'm like, wow, like I really throughout the whole week, like the only time I really speak Japanese is like when I go out and like do shopping. Like I've been trying to not be social recently because I want to just save money. And so like when I'm going out, I'm just going out, but I'm like sticking to myself or whatever. And I mean that's the fun thing though. Like if you're like an interesting guy and people want to hang out with you, and like it's so funny because like I know so many people that do this, but they're just too much of a bitch ass to admit it. But it's like if you want to hang out with people, but like you don't want to spend money, you just simply say, sorry man, I want to hang out, but like I haven't gotten paid yet this month. And they're like, dude, come on out, I'll pay for you. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to pay for me. And they're like, dude, come on out. And it's like, yeah, okay. like if people want to go out of their way to spend money on you, then let them, you know. Like there's no like what do you call it? There's no pride in that. Like, you know, if somebody, like I have a buddy who works as like a tech dude down in Roppongi, and he's always asking me to come out, and usually I say no, but when he comes to Shinjuku, you know, if I'm in the mood, I'll go out, but most of the time when he calls, it's very last minute, and he just showed up there, but he's like, yeah, man, come on, I'll pay for drinks all night or something, and I know that the guy makes easily like $6+ grand a month doing whatever his job is, so I'm like, yeah, I don't mind, like, yeah, spend $100 on me or whatever, that's fine, but like if it's a friend I know who's like barely making any cash, like I don't want them to pay for me, you know, like if it's different when people come here on a trip and they've saved up all this money and they don't like I mean, like guys, like if I can give a suggestion, it's just like I had a guy in the live stream today ask You know, like, I'm in Tokyo. I came here on a whim. I don't really know what to do. And like, he was basically saying, like, I'm bored. Like, I don't have an agenda. I don't know what's something cool to do. And like, wherever I'm going, there's tourists. And like, that's why it's so important wherever you're going to like get a friend, to get a local friend that can show you around and really introduce you to some cool ass shit that's going around there. And that's why I like to offer like my tours to people. You know, it's just like, yeah, like, if you like, we can go out and get drinks or whatever, but like, if you're a viewer of mine who I like, you know, and you're coming to Japan, I don't mind making time to hang out with you. But like, if you're a guy who barely ever contributes to the community or the chat or whatever, or the live stream, then it's just like, dude, just fucking sign up for a tour, man. Like, let's spend a whole day together going out and checking out some good shit. Like, you can fit a lot into a day, you know. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes I feel bad that I'm not being social, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like so fulfilled getting this work done that like, I'm okay with like, I feel like if I went out, like, I want to get this work done and then I can go out, kind of thing. Then I can give myself permission to go out and stuff. And it's funny, I was telling my friend's younger brother, Mr. I forgot what nickname I gave him. Satoshi? No, he's not a Japanese guy. But anyway, like, I was telling my friend's younger brother, who's like getting into tech and stuff, I was like, dude, like, you know, every job is half of what you know, and the other half is like who likes you, you know? Like, if you're somebody, like, you know, if you're a dude who takes care of himself, who's like physically fit, and you're not like too overly, what's the word? Not bodacious, but what's the word? Like, when you're like, as long as you're not having like too much of a fucking ego about stuff. Like, if you're a likable dude and people like you, it doesn't really matter if you have the exact skills or not. It's just like, can you get along with these people over time? And I think that's one thing that the younger, like, Aspergery autistic crowd doesn't get, is that, like, even if you don't like people, or you don't think it's, because I was telling him, I was like, you need to go make some more social connections, you know, make some more friends. And he's like, I don't see the point in it. It's stupid. And I was like, nah, well, you got to learn, man. Like, part of being a fully mature adult is like learning how to deal with other adults, especially when you don't agree with whatever the fuck they believe in, you know. And you just got to get along. It's like when the aliens attack, it doesn't matter what god you worship, like, we're all fighting this greater evil together, right? um yeah, you know. But anyway, yeah, and I guess that brings me into the point about the whole politics thing today, you know. It's funny because it's Wednesday, and I just did a live stream earlier, and I normally don't do these rant recordings on Wednesday, but like, I love this, you know. I love having this backlog of last minute rants, so I can just be like, yeah, I did this today, it's fucking cool, blah 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 blah. And you know, and like, I can just be like, yeah, like, it makes me feel good knowing that, like, oh, I have rants backlogged until like August 2025, kind of, you know. It's nice. It's not August, but you know what I mean, right? Like, it's good, so I can be like, oh, well, this month I'm busy with work, or it's I don't want to, like, you know, there's not a lot of places where I'm going to be going outside for a long amount of time for like to have free time to do a rant or something. So these home rants, it's good to know that I have something prepared for Wednesday, you know. But anyway, it's funny because I'm like, I really don't want to be doing this right now. I want to go and work on my compilation vlogs and get those ready for next week. But at the same time, I'm like, no, can't break routine. Rain Man, Assy 5 minutes to Wapner. Yeah, you gotta do this stuff, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like, whenever I log into fucking Facebook, like, I mean, that's the thing too. It's like Instagram pushes it. Like, I don't follow that many people on Instagram, so I don't get. And most of the people I follow, they're creators, so they like, you know, creators are smart. They purposely don't mention politics if you're a smart creator, because you just don't want to leave that digital footprint, but also you don't want to make your whole spiel about who you root for versus like what actual content you make. I think this is why Bill Burr really fucked up, you know. Like, Bill Burr, like, I don't ever think any of his content was funny, you know? Some people said it was funny, but he really isn't funny. Like, he was funny when he was giving shit to Philadelphia for booing him, but, like, I haven't seen any of his stand-up that I thought was legit funny, you know? Like, it's kind of funny, but it's like, so I understand why that guy became a shill, you know? It's because he wants to go on the winning. He's like Seth Rogen, you know. He doesn't really have that much talent, but he's not intimidating enough. Like, he's different enough that people want to use him for shit, but he's not intimidating enough that they want to, like, they're intimidated by him, right? Like, he's not intimidating enough that they want to, like, keep distance from him, you know, like they would have, like, Sam Hyde or Mel Gibson or something, right? But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like you want to be away from those. I mean, like, for me, I've like given up on trying to be a big creator. At one point, for some reason, I thought I could be a big creator. I honestly still think that if I really wanted to become a big creator and really, like, sink my teeth down into that and, like, commit to it for, like, a whole year, I think I could still do it. But I've kind of, like, what do you call it? Like, you know, it's not like not giving up, but it's like I'm content with the current YouTube community I have now, and I'm content with the way that I'm doing things, and I'm okay with this being small because you know, it's just like I get to do whatever I want now on this channel. And if people like it, cool, they can hang out. And if they don't like it, it's fine. They can go fuck off, you know. But I'm doing my own thing, and you know, I'm happy about it. So it's like I don't got room to complain. It's like people say that they want to be big on YouTube, but you know, for me, the only really, like, big reason why I ever wanted to be big on YouTube was just because I thought that would give me more clout to meet bigger YouTubers, to, like, befriend bigger YouTubers. Like, you know, if I had a bigger online presence, then they would see that, and first impressions matter. And it's like, yeah, they'd be like, okay, this guy's cool. I'll meet up with him. But, like, you know, if I learned anything from, like, my experience of the Rocket guys or whatever, it's just like, if you can get, like, one cool person that's already famous to really like you and respect you, you could meet other people a lot more easily. And so, you know, it's just you have to be proactive about it. Like, they won't search you out. You got to search them out. But and it's like, well, why do you want to be friends with famous people? And it's not for, like, clout or attention. It's just I'd like to know, like, how those people think and, like, pick their mind and stuff. Like, that's I was always so grateful about that. Like, I spent, like, fucking 3 months with the Rocket guys. Got to know them probably not as much as their friends back home, because they're friends with them, like, every day, right? But I got to know them so closely, and, like, how they do stuff and why they do stuff. And it's just like that's something that, like, people are gonna pay for, like, 30 years from now when they're doing, like, a Skillshare, a master class or whatever program, like, you know, that people are paying thousands of bucks to take part in. Like, you know, like, that's something that people are gonna pay money for that I got for free. And the way I paid for it was just being proactive, going out and meeting them, and not being a bitch, and helping them out, you know. And so, but I mean, the whole point is that, like, I like my small little community, and I want to do things to make it grow, but, like, I don't want to go. It's not out of my comfort zone, but it's like I don't want to make stuff that I don't want to make, if that makes sense. Like, there's some things that you can do, like, you can jump on trends, you can do really clickbaity stuff, and, like, you know, that's a great way to grow and everything. But, like, it's not that it's disingenuous, it's just something that I don't really care about doing. So, and it's like, well, then you might not grow. And I'm like, no, no, no. I think if I try new stuff more and more, and I'm always, like, improving on the stuff I am doing, then I will eventually grow. But it's like, you know, growth is, like, a second priority. For me, it's just like, right now, it's like maintaining the community, having fun, and just making the stuff that I want to make in the free time that I have, right? So, yeah, and I mean, YouTube, like, allows me a lot of cool things too. Like, I get to meet all of you guys, if you're chill, you know, I get to meet you guys and befriend you guys and stuff, and, you know, I get to meet other YouTubers, and I get to express myself creatively through the art, the medium of, you know, of videos and stuff. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, it's just like kind of bringing it back around. So it's like, thanks to YouTube, I've met a bunch of different people up until now, right? And it's just like there's a lot of different people that you meet, and I just, you know, like, the fucked up thing is that, like, most of these people, when I meet them in person, they're fine or whatever, right? But there's just something about, like, left wing liberal people. It's just like I don't know, man. Like, we're all people that can detect patterns, right? If that makes sense. Here, I'm gonna fart for a second. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, like there is, like people can detect patterns, right? Like it's like I retweeted this funny joke the other day where it's like kids are not born, like people are not born racist. People that learn to read crime statistics are racist or something. Like you're not racist till you read some crime statistics, right? But I don't know. I fumbled that joke, but you guys get what I mean, right? Um, but yeah, it's just like the same thing here. It's like to me, it's crazy how some people can support the left wing right now. And it's not like ideology. I mean, just like in practicality right now, what the left has been doing. Like, I tried to explain to my hot gay son Brandon, German Brandon, who used to be on the live streams when I was in the guest house. He's gone to liberal arts college now in Germany for a couple of years, and he's still in college right now. And he's grown his hair out, and he just looks, like God. He sent me like a whole fucking 2 pages worth of all this stuff, and it's just like, trans lives matter and all this bullshit. And I was just like, what happened to you, man? You're very different from when you were in the guest house. He's like, no, I didn't change. You changed. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You went from being like he basically became iDubbbz, guys. I think, unlike iDubbbz, though, I think he has, there's potential for him to come back, I think that there's potential for him to get back up there and do the stuff, There's no, well, I don't know. I don't think there's any, whatever iDubbbz wife's name. I don't think Brandon has an iDubbbz wife. But the whole point is, it's just like, he used to be this boy who hung out on Discord and was edgy and stuff. And now he's in this liberal college where people are telling him what to think. And he wants to, he wants to fit in. So he takes their, like, what is it? Like, he agrees with their quotes or whatever you want to say. Like it's like being in a cult, it's like in a cult you agree with everything because that's where your friends are, and you don't want to be ousted of the cult, right? Like you want to be you don't want to piss off your friends, so you just agree with them all the time. And it's so sad because it's like when I grew up, like that was the right were the people that were crazy, and they were the ones that didn't want to have a logical debate. They were the ones that like didn't want to, like they pushed back against everything. They pushed back against weed being legalized. They pushed back against like gay people getting married and all this stuff. And it's just and then the left took over and they went fucking. You gave them a foot and they took like 10 miles. It's crazy. But like when I try to explain to people, like I tried to explain to my aunt and my cousin that it's like look, like you're fucking, like they were like, why would you vote for Trump? And I remember they were asking me this in like November, and I told them I didn't vote, but like I would have, if I was in America, I would have voted for him. And they're like, why? And I'm like, well, Kamala wanted to, or at least somebody on Kamala's team, like she wanted to get rid of voter ID, and like the only states that she won were the states that did not require voter ID. So you could go in there 5 times in like a different cowboy hat each time and just vote. That's not voting. That's some like, that's kangaroo court. That's like voting in like Russia or like the Congo or something. That's not a real. It's not a real vote. And she wanted to get rid of that. Like, what's the point of having a vote if you can't validate anything, right? And then on top of that, it was like, it's like they wanted to start making it so you would get fined or you would get in trouble for free speech on the internet. Like they wanted to do what Europe's doing right now, where if you repost a meme or anything, that you're going to go to jail. Like that's fucking disgusting. That's horrible, And I love it too how like JD Vance, he went to Europe and he's like, dude, you guys hate free speech, and you have the fucking balls to like, act like you're better than us in America. Like you guys you let rapists go free, and you let you let the kid that has the biggest tantrum in class let him go because you feel sorry for him, or you're like, oh man, like, but he has potential to be good. But then when somebody's like, well, you shouldn't have let him out, it's like, okay, you're going into timeout forever. It's like, I don't know, like how, like that was like two big things right there. It's like killing free speech so you can't say anything, and then getting rid of the voting system practically. And it's like, well, and then like on top of this, like Elon Musk and everybody doing this whole Doge thing right now where they're auditing the whole fucking government, and then people are complaining about that, and they're like, I don't understand. It's like it's like, well, they're not being transparent. And it's like they're saying maybe not everything, but they're covering a lot of stuff every day. If you go to their Twitter accounts, you'll see they're posting stuff every day, and then like people are like, yeah, but I want to see the exact data. I want to see the paperwork that he's looking at. I want to see all of it. And I'm like, well, isn't that kind of classified? And they're like, well, we didn't elect Elon Musk. And I'm like, well, there's 10 people from the last government right here that, like, I mean, this is the great thing about Twitter too. Like, people, like, they keep the receipts, right? So it's like somebody said that, I think it was like AOC or something, and she's like, this, like, like Elon is not elected, and somebody like replied, and they're like, these, like, Fauci wasn't elected, and then like all these 9 other people were not elected, and they were in Joe Biden's government. You guys still let them do government related shit. And it's like all these people are like, well, he has access to our social media and stuff, or our social security numbers or everything. And I'm like, well, okay, so didn't he have access to that stuff when he was in charge of PayPal? And there's like a shit ton of people on PayPal, right? And it's like, I don't understand. Like they're not like the liberal well, I mean, I get it, right? Like it's a bunch of people. They're very corrupt. They've been taking advantage of the broken system for so long, and they're worried about getting in trouble. So they think that like they're pulling a classic like SJW libtard kind of thing, and it sucks too because it's like the left like ideologically, it's like they stand for good things, but in practice it doesn't work. It's like they want to save like illegal immigrants that are refugees that were displaced thanks to like American politics working on in the background of their government. Like, yeah, like I understand that point of view, and but at the same time, like when you're relying on the government to do that, though, the government is good at one thing, and that's being lazy and not doing their job at all, right? Like they're like the Comcast of the world, but they're government, And so when you're asking them to be almost perfect when it comes to stuff like vetting and everything, it's like there's a lot more incompetence than there are actual follow through of shit. And but it's like it kind of, I don't know, it's like I have like one foot to stand on, one foot not to stand on, right? Because like I grew up poor. Looking back on it now, I didn't really realize it. God, I'm such an eloquent speaker. I didn't really realize it until I was older. But like, I guess we were living on welfare the whole time. I don't know if we were on food stamps because I don't think I went to the grocery store with my mom that often. But yeah, like my mom, like after middle school or whatever, she didn't work. So, and we were in public housing, so I'm guessing we were on welfare. Like when I was 14 or 15, my mom's like, yeah, I'm not going to pay for anything for you anymore. So if you want clothes or school supplies or food, you got to pay for it. Like, I'm not cooking you food anymore or anything. And I get it. She was trying to make me more independent, and it's probably good that she did that. But, it's like if there's legit poor people in America and you're putting all this money away to give to people that didn't even go through the country legally, and then it's like, well, all these people want to do is work. And I'm like, yeah, but the whole thing is like there's a work system set up so that if fucked up shit happens, the worker can go to the government and say, these guys didn't follow labor laws, I'm reporting them. And of course the government works half the time, right? But at least there's a system there, right? And if you're an illegal immigrant, though, like you just have to accept whatever shitty fucking whatever circumstances are there. You get paid less money. There's a lot more fucking human trafficking going on. Like, you got to remember too, like there's a lot of people probably being sold as sex slaves, kids being sold as sex slaves. It's like I don't know, like being a liberal, it always seems like, at least now in 2025, like these people want get people killed and let people suffer so that the liberals can feel better about themselves. Like, they don't, like, it always seems like the people preaching all this stuff live in gated communities away from the decisions that they're making that everybody else has to deal with. And that's one reason why I really like Elon Musk. It's like, you can say that he grew up rich or whatever, right? But if you grew up in South Africa, you cannot deny how fucked up South Africa is. And it's funny because I was talking to my buddy Winston about this the other day on Facebook, and it's like, I was like, what do you think about all these South Africans going on like social media and saying that like South Africa isn't killing white farmers or whatever? And he's like, oh no, like there's been a lot of crime against white people for a long time in South Africa. And I was like, well, why are these people defending it? And he's like, well, I mean, people want to deny it that are in South Africa, because if you speak out against that, like outside, like against the government and what they're doing, then like you get a target put on you. And so like some people, in order to save themselves, he was guessing, that's why they're doing it. And so it's not a free place to live in. Like, if you're going outside, you have to worry about getting robbed or fucking raped or killed, you know? That's not a it's not a society, man. That's like Mad Max with like a nicer color of paint, you know, a nice coating of paint kind of thing. That's not real society. And so like I like that how Elon came from that, and he knows how fucked up and how corrupt and shitty governments are. And it's like, well, you only lived there for a little bit. And it's like, it's generational trauma, generational pain, whatever you want to call it, right? It's like, I don't know, man. It's just like one of those things where, like, I don't know. Let me think of an example. Like my Vietnamese friend growing up, it was only during elementary school I knew him, but like his family was always like super careful with money, and like they never went out to eat or whatever. Like they were always just like, we have to eat at home, and they always got the exact portions or whatever. And I was like, why are you, like, they were very anal about that. And it's like, oh, my parents, like, you know, they grew up where, like, you know, food was really scarce, and so they always have to get the best bargain on everything, and they have to eat the cheapest meals. And like, even if it's cheap, you can't eat a lot of food because you don't know when, like, they're rationing stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get that, right? Like, yeah, that's like, my friend didn't suffer like his parents did, but like he you know, he understood where they were coming from, kind of thing, by living, like, you know, the second part of that kind of thing, right? And so I don't know, I feel like it's so funny how there's just two big extremes, like Biden, you know, like he left Afghanistan, Ukraine war started, Israel Palestine conflict happened, and on top of that, like, he pardoned so many fucking people. And it's like, well, Trump pardoned people too, and it's like, yeah, but he, it's like Biden, who did he pardon that I can think of off the top of my head? Dr. Fauci, fucking Hunter Biden. You know, like it's like, oh, so these people that were working with him, like, he pardoned all these people. Why? You know, like, what did they do? Well, it's just in case Trump came after them. I wonder why, you know? And I don't know. It's just like, this isn't like, to me, this isn't a debate on who's right or who's wrong. To me, it's more of a debate of like, who's got the best interest of the country, and who is the most level-headed, clear-minded, no bullshit having side. And it's like, well, you don't understand, Sam, because those guys, like, they're just really good talkers. They're not very smart, and they constantly contradict themselves. And it's like, yeah, but you got to look at, like, you know, like, what side is worse, you know? Like Elon even admitted, he's like, sometimes I will get things wrong, and I will acknowledge that I got it wrong. And like, you know, like, there's some people that just deny it, and they hope that you forget about it. You know, like, fucking, like, oh, Hunter Biden went and talked to people in the Ukraine. We have like proof and documents that the coronavirus came from a fucking lab in China, and it's like, well, they said for so long, nuh-uh, 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 and it's like, I don't know, like you're underestimating how smart people actually are in America. I mean, like I know that there's channels dedicated to people being cringy and weird and flipping out at Walmart, but like, this is one of the things. It's like if they, I don't know the truth about vaccines and leading to autism or something, but when you see that figure of like how autism used to not be a big thing and now it's like 1 in 34 people or some small number like that, or like big number like that, are autistic. When you get this like mental illness, or I don't know what you want to call it, disease or the spectrum syndrome or whatever, like when you have something like that that lets you hyper focus and check patterns and see bullshit, and then you gave access people to a basically semi-free internet where they can double check and fact check all this stuff, and then you're angry that they're calling you out on stuff when you're just being a lazy old boomer trying to cover your ass about all the fucking kickbacks you got from giving money to a trans rights committee in Colombia that no Colombian trans people have ever heard of. It's like, it's so obvious what has been happening, and again, like it's like one of those things where it's like, how can you just ignore like all of this stuff being called out? Like all these Democrats I see, like this one guy on Twitch who I already called out his name during a live stream. I don't need to do it again here, but he was like, they're all just gonna line their pockets. They're all just they're making moves in order to just make them and their other billionaire friends rich. They don't care about you. And it's like, oh, so you know that about them, right? Are you basing this off of like all those other billionaires that were friends of Joe Biden that like, that don't post base takes about shit on Twitter all the time? Are you talking about those billionaires? Are you talking to, I mean, like, that's the thing that I like about Elon, is that he fucking actually, he's down to earth. He's like a 4chan bro. He makes. I didn't like. Like again, you don't need to agree with everything that somebody likes, but you have to at least see who's being logical and who's being crazy. Like I saw AOC today, and man, she's got some great titties. God damn, she is just so hot. But she's complaining, and it's like she made a post when like Trump got elected that she's moving over to Blue Sky, but nobody cares about her on Blue Sky. I don't even, I mean, I haven't been on there, but it's like, dude, like, why are you still posting on Twitter? Oh yeah, because everybody's on Twitter. No one's on your fucking stupid ass Blue Sky shit. And I don't know, man. It's just, it's silly. It's funny, like that. All these people, they just keep talking nonsense, and it's just like there's the good reason and the real reason, and I think it's like, it boggles my mind how all these Democrats are like, we're going to lose our democracy. We're going to lose our government. And I'm like, how has your government been good at all in the last 4 years? How has that helped out anybody domestically or internationally? Like, and then they'll be like, well, they, and it's like, we gave money to the Ukraine. Well, the president of the Ukraine just said that they don't keep track of that money. So like $300 billion plus dollars. He's like, I don't know what we did with it. Sorry. Like, like these people, they're spending all of our money, and they want to be held accountable for all. Well, I mean, I pay Japan tax. I file, but I don't pay Japan. I only pay Japan tax. If once I start making over $100,000, then I gotta pay both. But it's just, if I was in America, I'd be pissed, man. And like, I'd feel like this is one thing that, again, like those rich gated community people don't seem to care about. It's that like a normal working guy who gets tax taken out of his paycheck every fucking month, and it's like, what, you're funding trans people in Venezuela, you're like buying condoms from Mozambique, like, why? Like, put all that money back into America. And like, you know what happened though, right? It's like, it's either, to me, it's like, it doesn't seem that oblivious, right? Like, it's pretty obvious that it's like, America had those systems to pay all these other countries so that we were greasing the wheels for shit. We were rubbing hands together kind of thing. Like, we were giving money to people that are in charge there under the guise of something else. So it's like, you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of thing. It's like the whole same thing about people getting all angry that we send money to Israel all the time. And it's like, dude, you know why they do that? It's not because Israel needs the money. It's just because they spy on everybody else in that part of the world for America. They're like the second America there that keeps track of all that shit and then relays that intelligence back to us, you know? Us, as if I still live in America. But you know what I mean, right? And so it's like when all these people, when America was sending all that money to those places, um, it was just simply like due to blackmail. Like they got blackmail on some government guy, or it's just bribe, or like just like kickbacks, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna send you $2 million to like for your Sesame Street in Iraq. Oh, wait, that was like 20 million. Fuck. And then okay, and then I have like a couple shell corporations and stuff, and so just like send me back some of that money, and like you can keep the rest, and it's cool. And they're like, yeah, thanks, bro. And it's like, just remember that when we want to go in there for mineral rights later, that I helped you out. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's all just corrupt and everything. And I feel like this guy on Twitch, you're just being a fat fuck eating like cheese fries and shit. And he's just like, yeah, because like he's talking about all this stuff, but he was like a fence sitter. He's obviously liberal, but he's just afraid of saying it out loud. So, he's just fence sitting. And I'm like, Elon and Trump are based. They're going through and they're showing a lot more transparency about the government than ever before. And they're getting rid of a lot of dead weight, which if anybody here has worked for the government, I haven't. But I know plenty of people that work for the U.S. government and for the U.S. military, thanks to YouTube. And yeah, I've gotten, not firsthand, is it secondhand when you hear from somebody directly? But yeah, there's a lot of just wasteful spending when it comes to government shit. And so it's like I feel like all these people that love to give these opinions about how bad this is going to be are people that, one, don't see the overall big picture about why the government was corrupt and spending all that money in the first place, and two, they don't know anybody who's actually going through any of this. Like, I have two friends off the top of my head specifically that are like California, they're professors at a California university that I know from a friend of a friend, and they come to Japan sometimes. And they just love to preach about how Trump is bad, Biden is awesome. But meanwhile, like, I know where they live, and like I Google mapped it. They live in a very nice Anglo-Saxon area, like, and their college is very, very hyper liberal, but like they live away from any of the crime that's plaguing California most of the time, right? And like they have the guff to tell the rest of the fucking world how it should live based on their ideology versus actually meeting and talking to anybody from those places. Like that's one thing I really like about the Channel 5 YouTube channel, like all brakes no gas or whatever, or all gas no brakes. Like that guy, I don't agree with him on some political stuff, but I appreciate the fact that he actually goes and talks to the people directly, you know and that's really important. But also, like, you got to remember that some people, when it comes to dangerous shit, they don't want to talk about anything, right? Like when he went down to like check out the Venezuelan gangs or something in Colorado or New Mexico, one of those places, like he was interviewing those people, and it's like, dude, none of those people are gonna talk to you. Like, have you ever lived in public housing before? Nobody talks to outsiders. You fucking like, come on, bro. You've traveled the world. You don't know this? And so it's like, yeah, there's no gangs here. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, yeah, dude, like yeah, nah, man. You gotta be, so, like, it's always one of those things, right? Like Tony Soprano said it best, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, right? And there's always the real reason and the good reason. And it's like, the real reason, or like the good reason that we sent money to the Ukraine was that we were helping fund them fight, an invasion of a foreign country into their land. But the real reason why we were doing it is just because probably the government was laundering money. They were sending money there, and they were giving it to rich people in Ukraine and probably sending it back. And it's like, well, Tikio, how do you know about that? Where's your evidence? And I don't have any. It's just an assumption. I mean, like, this is how the world works, right? I mean, like, when you can't say that, like, what you spent the money on, like, I mean, like, it would be simple. Like, like Zelensky saying, I didn't really keep track of any of that stuff. It's like, you didn't have any invoices? I have invoices for all of my fucking translation shit. You don't have invoices for any of that? Like, you didn't, like, okay, we spent this much money on military equipment. We spent this money on flying out to different fucking countries to ask for aid. Like, you didn't know? Like, at least make up a better excuse than, like, oh, I don't know where the money went. Like, come on, bro. Like if you're gonna lie, at least be good at it. You know, at least be somewhat good at it. Am I just talking to the air right now? I feel like it's that meme where a guy's going into deep discussion talking to a wall. You know. Hold on, let me get some water. Oh, mm, mm. Oh, oh, it's so pure. Like the cocaine, I'm so pure. But yeah, it's just like, again, like this isn't. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like I don't see why liberals are so scared of Trump, because all of this stuff, again, like it's like the hypocritical, delusional shit I don't like, right? And it's like, okay, what are you worried about? Well, I'm worried about women's rights being taken away. Okay, what rights? Oh, right to equal pay. Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know how realistic that would be taken away. Or losing the right to have an abortion. Well, okay, yeah, I guess some states have outlawed that. Yeah, that fucking sucks. I guess you have to move to a different state. Luckily, there's still, I don't know. I mean, like, I think that it's like the stuff that they're worried about. Like, I know that they said that when Trump came into office, or this election in particular, it would divide America more than ever. But I don't know if division's really that bad of a thing, though, right? I mean, like, the whole Too Short thing is you get in where you fit in, right? And so if liberals want to have such like they really care about their rights and everything, then like if you don't like let's just say, like, who cares if you have family and ties or whatever, but if you are so focused on your like liberal ideology and you want to support it, why would you not move to a state that has a lot of like tons of liberals there? Like, I get it. Like, if you don't want, like, if you don't like conservatives, don't move to Texas or whatever, right? Like, move to California or something. But it's just like, I don't see the problem with dividing stuff if it lets people do what they want to do the way they want to do it, as long as they stay in their parking lot, Like, you get in where you fit in, kind of thing, right? Like, you just, if you want to be around shit like that, that's fine. But, like, give people the option to get away from that shit. But then it's like, well, but I like this place. This place has mountains, or this place has ocean, and I don't agree with the people's ideology that run it, and I want to change it. Well, I don't know, man. Life is so short. Do you really want to waste it trying to change something that is probably going to go back to whatever you're trying to change it? And I'm not trying to be defeatist or, like, pessimistic about this at all, but like that, the Twitch streamer eating his fucking fries and being like, well, Elon Musk is, he's just, again, like, when you're part of a group that just is like, I can't defend what I'm saying, so I'm just going to start name calling you, and I'm going to start trying to appeal to your emotions about things. And it's like, it's a fake empathy, These people aren't empathetic. If they saw the suffering that their decisions cause, then they wouldn't be empathetic, or like they would be more empathetic, right? But they're not empathetic. They want to just come off like they're empathetic so that the people that they're trying to impress and hang out with think that they're empathetic. It's that whole Always Sunny in Philadelphia clip where it's like, we need to get organized. Yeah, we need to get organized. Like, they don't care about actually changing the world. They just want to come off like they're changing the world, Like, that's the thing. It's always these people that benefited from the shitty, corrupt government that don't want to change it, right? And it's just like, again, it's like, well, you don't know what Trump and Musk are really doing. I'm like, well, you didn't really know what fucking Biden and Kamala were really doing, And in a way, it's kind of funny, like, that I totally forgot that, like, the only reason why Kamala got pushed to go in the presidential race was because Biden's like, yeah, I endorse her, before he checked with anybody. And so part of me thinks it's like, wait a second, did Biden, like, secretly do this? Like, he already knew that he fucked up shit, but he was just so tired of people telling him what to do and stuff, and in a moment of clarity, he was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck them over so good. And he's like, yeah, this woman can't talk for shit, she's a DEI hire, and like, I'm gonna push her, and I know that all the Americans are not gonna fucking go with it. And like, I don't like Trump, but I like him better than the people that are telling me what to do all the time. Like, I wonder if that's what happened, I mean, we're never really gonna know, right? But it's one of those things where it's like, Like I was saying to that Twitch streamer, was fucking cheese fries. I'm like, I always like my cheese fries with a nice side of or a nice big side of pessimism. It's like, you fat fucking chubby fuck. I mean, I shouldn't say that about the guy. The guy did a lot more exercise than I did in the last couple of years. But still, it's just like, I don't know, man. It always feels like the privileged class are the ones that are always telling the poor people how good they've got it and how bad it's going to be if they elect the person who says they want to change the things that the poor people want to be changed, And it's such like an elitist bullshit kind of attitude to take too, where it's like, oh, well, it's not your fault. You went to a third-rate college, It's your fault. You were just you got educated, but not in the right place, so you're stupid. And I don't know, man. Like, I hate that fucking snarkiness, Like if there's one thing that people need more of in the world, it's humbleness and less ego, right? And when one of the ways that you defend your argument is like, well, you're just stupid because you didn't go to the expensive place that I went to, then you're not bringing anybody over to your side, but also you're just being a dick. Like, well, like this isn't, and then the whole empathy thing goes out the window because you just want to be right. You don't care about what actually fixes stuff. You just want to come off as right because you want the pat on your back, right? Like you're Jerry Smith on that Rick and Morty episode where it's just like, Beth, I am here to save you, and then everyone's going out and they're just shaking all the other Jerry's hands like they didn't do anything, but they're congratulating themselves on doing such a good job, I mean, it's like that whole thing, like to quote Rick and Morty, yeah, it's like, I've seen what makes you people cheer. Your boos mean nothing to me, And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I understand that I'm not well versed in political science or anything, but I am versed in bullshit and seeing through people's bullshit when they're trying to put up they're trying to put up a front, right? And it's like, I don't know, man. It's like people always say you got to go touch grass or whatever, but it's like, I don't mind having a conversation with people, but when they just jump to the biggest extreme, that's, again, like, that's not about having a conversation. That's not about having friendly debate. That's just about, like, I don't agree with what you said, and I'm afraid that other people will agree with you, so I'm going to censor you. And that's not how democracy works. And that's why, I don't know, man. Like, I know there's some of you guys that are in Europe that watch me, especially, I mean, like, I don't know if you guys want me to say your screen names, but a guy who's always here during the premieres, who's a sexy man, he's in the UK, and he has to deal with bullshit and stuff, and it's just like, it's just crazy. I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's like, you just want accountability, If you hurt somebody, like, if somebody hurts someone, you want that person to be held accountable. If somebody took your money that was supposed to build a house, and then they spent it on hookers and blow, then, like, you want them to be held accountable, right? And it's like, and then when you get lectured by, like, when you call that behavior out, and then you're lectured by by these random people that are just like, well, you don't know if he, like, maybe he needed that hookers and blow, or it's like, well, that money, you don't understand, that hookers and blow is going to a way bigger thing. It's like, dude, I understand that, like, the argument that there's, like, a larger class that controls the world, and they're just pitting two sides against them so they don't go after the bigger people in charge. I don't know. I feel like that would make things too easy of an explanation, right? It's like, I think at the end of the day, people want conflict, The African meme, I don't want peace, I want problems. I think it's like that, like, kind of like that Matrix quote, right? Like, we had a perfect society, utopia, Matrix, but you guys didn't like that. You're humans. You like conflict. You like fighting. Like, you like having challenges. And so, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the circle turns, and it turns and turns, right? Like, time is a flat circle. I see the edge of your soul in your eye, or edge of your. I see your soul at the edge of your eyes, and it's corrosive. And I don't know. I think that there's always it's it's the yin and the yang. You're always going to have a balance of one that's being on top and one that's being on the bottom. But I'd like to think that if I wasn't eating cheese fries and being so fucking pessimistic, I like to be an optimist about this. And I think that in order for a big change to happen, there needs to be a big change. And like Trump and Elon going in there and cleaning shop and doing things differently than it's ever been done. I'm all for that. And I think that like more people should be like that too, because at the end of the day, like if you're American, you want your country to prosper. You want your close friends and your family to be safe and have the best opportunities that they can have. And you want the world to be peaceful, and you want people to rely on the U.S. and be buddies with them too. And you can't do that if you have an incompetent government and people running it. And so, I don't know. I'm hopeful for the future, but feel free to tell me I'm wrong. Feel free if you guys think I'm wrong and you want to educate me on all the things that I've been missing out on. Then feel free to write down in the comments down below. But anyway, that's my thoughts on today's topic. Thanks always for watching, guys. I'll stay tuned for the live stream. And the secret comment of the day is Donald Duck Trump. Type that in. Donald Duck Trump. Blue Tank. I'm watching a Blue Tank right now fight on this low poly breaks disc 3 video game D&B and ambient jungle mix in the background right now. So Donald Duck Trump Blue Tank. Just make a weird sentence of that and you're good. But anyway, I'll see you guys during the live stream. Y'all stay black and I'll talk to you later. Yeah, buddy. Oh, now Kevin, if you could just bend over for just a second. Help the fuck up inside. I know it. I know what you're